Imagine that one day you wake up and feel like you no longer have the strength to hold up your own body, that your legs are trembling, your arms feel heavy, and every simple movement becomes an exhausting effort. Now, imagine that this muscle fatigue is not due to age, but because of a silent habit you repeat every day without knowing it was slowly weakening your muscles. And most alarmingly, this muscle wear and tear could be happening right now as you watch this video, without pain, without clear signs, until one day it's too late. The cause? A common habit that seems harmless, even necessary, but is actually accelerating a condition known as sarcopenia, the progressive loss of muscle mass and strength that affects millions of older adults worldwide. Today, I will show you the 10 worst habits that destroy your muscles over time, in descending order, leading up to the most damaging one of all. And I'll give you a heads up. Number 1 will shock you because it's something you probably do every day, thinking it's the right thing. Stay until the end because knowing this information can make the difference between having an active, vitality-filled old age or spending your final years unable to move freely, depending on others for the most basic tasks. Let's begin. What is sarcopenia, and why should you be concerned? Before revealing the worst habit that destroys your muscles, you need to understand this. Sarcopenia is not just a consequence of aging. It is a disease recognized by the World Health Organization, characterized by the progressive loss of muscle mass and strength. And no, it doesn't start at 80. It can begin as early as your 40s if you don't take action. According to a study published in The Lancet Public Health, more than 30% of adults over 60 already show signs of sarcopenia, and many don't know it. Here comes the first key question you must ask yourself. What are you doing every day that, without realizing it, could be silently weakening your muscles? Today, we will discover it. Let's start with the first habit. Habit number 10. Sitting for hours without interruptions. Sitting for many hours a day may seem harmless, but it is one of the habits that most weakens muscles over time, silently and painlessly. Studies from the journals of gerontology have shown that sitting for more than 8 hours a day without breaks accelerates muscle mass loss in older adults, affects balance, and increases the risk of falls. Even with daily exercise, excessive sitting contributes to sarcopenia because the body interprets the lack of movement as a signal that muscles are no longer needed and begins to degrade them, especially in the legs and lower back. What to do if you spend many hours sitting? You don't need demanding routines. Simply getting up every 40 minutes to stretch or walk for 1 or 2 minutes can make a big difference. Constant small movements are key. In the next habit, you'll understand why this becomes even more important, especially if your diet isn't helping your muscles. Habit number 9. Sleeping poorly or less than 6 hours per night. Sleep is crucial for muscle health, but it's often overlooked. Poor sleep is like not feeding your muscles during sleep. The body not only rests, but also repairs tissues, regulates hormones, and rebuilds muscle fibers. If you consistently sleep less than 6 hours per night, this process is disrupted. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism showed that lack of sleep reduces the production of growth hormone, vital for muscle maintenance in older adults. Without sufficient rest, the body begins to lose muscle mass, even if you have a good diet and exercise. Fatigue also reduces your energy to move and exercise, leading to more muscle pain due to lack of recovery. Can you improve muscle health just by improving your sleep? The answer is yes, but there's a key detail I'll share with you in a moment. If you want to take care of your muscles starting tonight, follow these tips. Sleep between 7 and 8 hours whenever possible. Avoid screens and bright lights at least an hour before bed. Establish a calming routine before bedtime like a warm bath or light reading. And if you wake up several times at night, check your diet as it may be related to this problem, as I'll explain in the next habit. Now, what's the point of sleeping well if, upon waking, you fill your body with substances that directly damage your muscles? In the next habit, you'll discover why what you eat can be as destructive as not sleeping. Habit number 8. Not consuming enough quality protein. One of the most common and dangerous mistakes in the diet of older adults is not consuming enough quality protein. As we age, the body needs more protein, not less. However, many people reduce their intake of meat, eggs, legumes, or dairy due to digestive problems, misguided recommendations, or habits. The result of this protein deficiency is that muscles do not receive the necessary building blocks to repair and maintain themselves, accelerating muscle loss. It's like building a house without bricks. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed that older adults need between 1.2 and 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day to preserve muscle mass. For example, if someone weighs 65 kilograms, they should consume at least 78 grams of protein daily, but many people barely reach half of this amount. Did you know that small protein deficiencies can accelerate sarcopenia? Even if you eat enough, it's not just about quantity but quality. The best absorbed proteins come from animal sources like eggs, fish, or natural yogurt. But you can also combine these proteins with plant sources like lentils, chickpeas, quinoa, or nuts to achieve a complete amino acid profile. The important thing is to include at least one clear portion of protein in each main meal and not rely solely on carbohydrates like bread, rice, or soups, as occurs in many traditional diets of older adults. And here's a detail that many don't consider. When muscles begin to ache or lose strength, some people frequently turn to painkillers or anti-inflammatories, believing they are solving the problem. But what they don't know is that these medications, when used incorrectly or for too long, can further damage the muscles. We'll talk about that in the next habit, and what you'll discover could completely change the way you deal with muscle pain. Habit number 7. Overusing anti-inflammatory and analgesic medications. When muscle or joint pain appears, the quickest solution is usually a pill: ibuprofen, diclofenac, naproxen, or paracetamol. These drugs are within everyone's reach, sold without a prescription, and consumed as if they were candy. But what very few know is that their excessive use can accelerate sarcopenia and silently weaken your muscles. How is this possible? Studies, such as one published in the Journal of Applied Physiology, have shown that the prolonged use of anti-inflammatories inhibits certain natural responses of the body necessary for muscle growth and repair. In other words, by blocking inflammation, which in small doses is part of the regeneration process, they also block the body's ability to adapt, heal, and strengthen. Additionally, the abuse of these medications can affect the liver, kidneys, and stomach, which in turn reduces the absorption of essential nutrients to keep muscles healthy. And that's not all. Many times, this consumption of painkillers is not only related to pain, but to something much more everyday and dangerous: poor nutrition. Because certain foods generate chronic inflammation, muscle pain, and fatigue, and without knowing it, many people are poisoning themselves daily. In the next habit, I'll reveal the 10 worst foods that destroy your muscles over time. Some of them are present in breakfasts, dinners, or even in products promoted as healthy. Habit number 6. Consuming foods that destroy muscles. You could be eating something every day that seems harmless, but is actually silently damaging your muscles. Nutrition plays a key role in muscle health, especially in older adults. And what many don't know is that certain foods not only don't nourish, but directly sabotage muscle regeneration and strength. The quality of the diet directly influences the risk of sarcopenia, and if you frequently consume the foods I'm about to mention, you could be accelerating this process without realizing it. Here are the 10 worst foods you should avoid if you want to keep your muscles strong after 50. Sugary sodas promote inflammation and fat in the muscles. Processed meats damage muscle tissue and favor metabolic diseases. White bread and refined flours raise insulin, weakening muscles. Fast food and fried foods cause chronic inflammation that affects muscle synthesis. Ultra-processed snacks alter muscle metabolism. Industrial sweets and desserts contribute to insulin resistance, accelerating muscle loss. Excessive alcohol interferes with nutrient absorption and hormone production. Energy drinks and artificial caffeine affect muscle recovery. Light products with artificial sweeteners alter gut microbiota and amino acid absorption. Canned soups and meals with excess sodium dehydrate muscles and weaken cellular function. All these foods have something in common. They provide many calories but almost no essential nutrients for your muscles. They are products that inflame, steal energy, and do not contribute to the repair or maintenance of muscle tissues. Here's a question that can help you reflect. How many of these foods are present in your pantry or refrigerator right now? The next habit will show you that even if you eat well, if you don't take care of this other aspect, you can continue to lose muscle strength without realizing it. Habit number 5, avoiding any type of strength exercise. As we age, many avoid strength exercise, believing it's unnecessary or too demanding. However, this is one of the biggest mistakes. Strength exercise, such as lifting weights or using resistance bands, is essential for maintaining and strengthening muscles. As we age, the body loses between 3% and 8% of muscle mass each decade after 30. Strength exercise is the only way to prevent or reverse this loss. If we don't exercise our muscles, muscle atrophy accelerates, increasing the risk of falls and injuries. A study in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research showed that with just 30 minutes of strength exercise twice a week, older adults can improve muscle mass, bone density, prevent sarcopenia, reduce joint pain, improve balance, and reduce fatigue. Avoiding strength exercise, thinking you're protecting your body, actually accelerates muscle weakening. Here comes a key question. Is not exercising allowing your body to weaken, or is the problem something even more basic, like not hydrating correctly? Because hydration plays a crucial role in ensuring muscles function properly. In the next habit, you'll discover how lack of hydration could be sabotaging both your muscle health and your overall well-being. Habit number 4, not hydrating correctly. It's easy to think that all your body needs is food and exercise, but there's an essential element that's often overlooked: water. Hydration is key to the proper functioning of your muscles. Think of your muscles as an engine. They need not only fuel, but also a lubricant to function efficiently. And that lubricant is water. When you don't drink enough water, your muscles lose flexibility and recovery capacity, which can lead to cramps, muscle pain, and stiffness. Additionally, insufficient hydration affects blood circulation, delaying the delivery of nutrients to the muscles, leaving them weaker and more prone to pain. What many ignore is that water is also vital for preventing bone wear. Dehydration contributes to bone density loss, favoring conditions like osteoporosis and sarcopenia. Are you drinking enough water to keep your muscles strong? If not, lack of hydration may be worsening your muscle health without you noticing. Remember that the recommendation is to drink between 1.5 and 2 liters of water a day, depending on your physical activity and overall health. But be careful. Not all beverages hydrate the same way. Coffee, sodas, and alcohol can dehydrate you more and worsen the problem. Now, reflect for a moment. Did you know that there's an ingredient that, if consumed in excess, could be drying out your muscles and damaging your joints without you realizing it? This ingredient hides its negative effect in many processed foods and common beverages. Can you guess what this hidden enemy is for your muscles? I'll give you a hint. It has a sweet taste and is in almost everything you consume. We'll discover it in the next habit. Habit number 3, consuming refined sugar daily. Excessive consumption of refined sugar is a habit that silently destroys muscles. Although we all know that sugar is not good in excess, few know its true impact on muscle mass. When you consume sugar, like that found in sodas, cakes, or white bread, it causes an insulin spike that not only affects your glucose levels, but also interrupts muscle repair and promotes chronic inflammation. Over time, this inflammation weakens both muscles and bones, accelerating sarcopenia. Studies, such as one published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, have shown that sugar reduces muscle protein synthesis, meaning that even if you exercise, your muscles don't regenerate properly. Additionally, sugar increases free radicals that damage muscle cells and accelerate tissue aging. Although the negative effects are evident, sugar is addictive. The brain releases dopamine when consuming it, creating a temporary sense of well-being, but the long-term cost is high. The big question is, do you know how much sugar you consume daily? Many products, even those that seem healthy, are full of added sugars. Replacing processed foods with more natural options like fresh fruits and nuts will not only help your muscles, but also reduce inflammation and improve your overall health. Congratulations on making it this far in the video. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever thought about the impact of an inadequate breakfast or one full of sugar and empty carbohydrates on your muscles? This is crucial for maintaining muscle strength and overall well-being. Studies have shown that a good breakfast is essential for muscle protein synthesis and cellular recovery, key processes for preventing muscle loss as we age. Additionally, it's not enough to have just a good breakfast. Nutrition throughout the day is equally important. The common mistake is thinking that eating well is sufficient without considering the quality of foods in all meals of the day. This is the topic we'll explore in the next habit. Habit number 2, skipping breakfast, or worse, only having coffee with bread. Have you ever wondered what happens when you skip breakfast or choose a non-nutritious option like just coffee with bread? Although it may seem like a harmless habit, this eating pattern can have devastating effects, especially on your muscles. When you skip breakfast, or your first meal of the day is full of simple carbohydrates and almost no nutrients, you're directly affecting your metabolism and your muscle recovery capacity. During the night, your body enters a state of rest, and your muscles are not receiving nutrients. Breakfast is the first step to replenish energy reserves and activate the metabolic processes that help muscle repair and growth. But if you decide not to have breakfast, your body enters energy-saving mode. This means that by not providing it with the necessary nutrients, your muscles don't have what they need to stay strong and begin to lose muscle mass over time. The worst part is that many people opt for breakfasts like coffee with bread, which only offer empty sugars and do not contain the proteins or healthy fats necessary to maintain muscle mass. So here's the key question. Are you feeding your muscles from the morning, or are you unknowingly weakening them? Breakfast is crucial, especially for preventing age-related muscle loss like sarcopenia. With just a small adjustment in what you choose to put on your plate, you can make a big difference in the health of your muscles. Choose foods rich in high-quality proteins like eggs, Greek yogurt, or salmon, which help muscle regeneration. Also, make sure to incorporate healthy fats like those from avocado or nuts, which are essential for overall health and vitamin absorption. Complex carbohydrates from foods like oats or fruit provide long-lasting energy without causing insulin spikes. And don't forget fiber, which regulates blood sugar and improves digestion. So instead of a nutrient-poor breakfast like coffee with bread, start the day with balanced options that support muscle strength and give you energy throughout the day. Small changes can make a big difference. Now that we've talked about the importance of a balanced breakfast for your muscles, there's another very common mistake that many older adults make without realizing it. This habit could be affecting your strength and well-being even more, and it's one that has become very common in our daily lives. Can you guess what it is? We'll discover it in the next habit, which is probably the worst of all. Habit number 1. Spending hours in front of the television or phone without moving after eating. Spending time in front of the television or phone after eating is a common habit, especially after heavy meals. Although it may seem relaxing, this behavior has negative effects on your muscles and overall health. When you remain inactive after eating, you disrupt important metabolic processes. Blood circulation decreases and digestion becomes slower. Additionally, prolonged inactivity affects the muscles, which lose tone and strength without adequate stimulation. It also contributes to increased body fat since you're not using energy to aid digestion and burn calories. This habit can worsen sarcopenia and cause muscle stiffness or pain common in older adults after long periods of inactivity. To counteract this, it's important to move after eating. You don't need intense exercise. A short walk or light stretching can activate circulation, improve digestion, and prevent muscle loss. Remember that your muscles need constant stimuli to stay strong and healthy. And there you have it. Now you know the 10 worst habits that could be affecting the health of your muscles and accelerating sarcopenia. We talked about how small changes in your daily routines can strengthen your muscles, prevent pain, and improve your overall well-being. But as we saw, change starts with what you decide to do or not do every day. Remember that your muscle health is not something you can take for granted. The sooner you start becoming aware of these habits and make adjustments, the easier it will be to keep your muscles strong and healthy as you age. Now, I ask you this question: which of these habits have you been practicing without knowing it was affecting your muscles? What habit are you willing to change to improve the health of your muscles? Answer in the comments below, and let's share ideas. If you found this video useful, give it a like so more people can discover these tips. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more useful and practical content on how to take care of your health naturally. If you're interested in continuing to learn more about health, well-being, and how to improve your quality of life, I invite you to keep watching our videos. On this channel, we talk about all the topics that will help you stay strong and healthy throughout the years. Thank you for joining me until the end. See you in the next video. Blessings.